In this video, we are going to discuss Hussainara Khatoon versus Home Secretary, State of Bihar. And this is the first case reported on public interest litigation. And it established the right to have a speedy trial as a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. And this is the case which discusses the human rights of the prisoners in India. So we will discuss this particular landmark case in detail in the coming sessions. So the case name is Hussainara Khatoon versus State of Bihar, and the judgment passed on 19th February 1979. The Apex Court bench considered the case consists of Justices P.N. Bhagwati, R.S. Pathak and A.D. Koshal. So first we will look into the background of the case. And it was in 1977 the government of India has established a commission, a national police commission, and one of its members, that was Mr. R.F. Rustam. He had visited the Musafir and Patna jails as a part of his survey, and shortly he reported that there are many prisoners in the jail without proper trials. And he also disclosed the fact that many of them lived in the jail more than a period which could be more than their punishment period if they found guilty. And later this report was published in the newspaper, the Indian Express. And following it, one of the lawyers of the Supreme Court, she was Pushpa Kabila, and she noticed this report and filed a public interest litigation in Apex Court under Article 32, and he filed a public interest litigation in the name of one of the prisoner, and she was Hussainara Khatoon. Now we will discuss the facts of the case. So we already said that there was a report in newspaper Indian Express about the prisoners who are still on the bars for a remarkable period. And on the basis of this news report, as we discussed, a petition was filed by Pushpa Kabila for habeas corpus. It was one of the writ which comes under Article 32 of the Supreme Court. So she filed an petition to direct habeas corpus and for releasing 17 under trial prisoners in the Bihar jail. And shortly these prisoners included women, children and other deprived categories of the poor section of the society. And even shortly, the fact is that they locked behind the bar, and they were for a remarkable period, and they were seeking for trial and to get released. And it was sad to know that in some cases the trial has not even begun, and while in other cases the investigation were yet to be completed. So this was the condition, or this was the facts of the case behind this public interest litigation. So what were the issues raised before the Honorable Apex Court? The very first issue was whether the right to speedy trial is a part of Article 21, or can we consider this right to speedy trial as a fundamental right? And the second issue raised was, can the provision of free legal aid can be enforced by law? So these are the two issues raised under this public interest litigation. Which were the statutes and provisions discussed here and in this public interest litigation? It was Article 21 of the Constitution and Article 39A of the Constitution. These both articles are discussed in this landmark case filed under as a public interest litigation. So at first we will discuss about the arguments from the petitioner side, and the facts of the case itself revealed that uh, a considerable number of prisoners, including men, women, and children, were kept behind the bar, and they were actually waiting for the trial yet to be commenced and get released. And even the Bihar government produced a report that they have been taken regularly before the magistrate, but since there was no any free legal aid, they've been taken back to the jail under judicial custody. So the main argument from the petitioner side is that the right to have a speedy trial should make it as a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution. And they also contended that it was just because of the poverty, or the most of the prisoners were poor, so that they couldn't even produce the sureties and the bail amount. Let's see what the respondent argued. The respondents argued that uh, the many of the trial prisoners who were detained under this Patna Central Jail, Musafir Central Jail, and Ranchi Central Jail were they were actually being produced before the magistrate uh, in repeatedly, but they were remanded back to the jail under judicial custody. And they also contended that the investigation has stopped or delayed just because of they haven't received the expert opinion. So let's discuss the judgment produced by the apex court in this landmark case. The court has held that yes, there were long-term detention, and this detention is definitely it's an illegal act, and it violated the fundamental rights of those prisoners under Article 21. And at the same time, the court directed the state government that they should appoint a lawyer to those prisoners who were charged under bailable offences. When they've been produced before the magistrate, they should get assistance from a lawyer so that they can apply for the bail. The apex court also directed the state government and the high courts to produce the number of courts, magistrate and other sessions courts, and their locations, and the total number of cases pending before them as on 31st December 1978. And the court also directed to produce an explanation in every delay or on disposing the cases if the said cases spending more than 6 months. And it also added that yes, Article 39A is fundamental directive principle, and it provides a free legal justice or free legal aid regardless their economic and other disabilities. So now we will discuss the rationale behind this judgment. The apex court had observed that the state could never deny the constitutional rights granted to its citizens through constitution. And the court also noticed that the accused were unable to interact with a lawyer, and there is a clear violation of their human rights. And it's all been doing by the state itself. And the court also observed that state cannot deny the right specifically under Article 14, 21 and 39A of the constitutions. And denying justice of speedy trial and equal access to the justice to any citizen is a complete violation of constitutional right. The court also observed that yes, the bail system is which one is following in the nation is an unsatisfactory one, and the system is actually giving more importance to the property and monetary laws, and it is an advice to the parliament to consider the bail system prevailing at the country, and so that the nameless poor will not deprived of justice anymore. And the apex court also suggested that an accused can be given bail on his personal bonds, but there are certain conditions to be cross-checked. And yes, Article 21 talks about the right to life, but it is a border concept. We can interpret it in more wider way. So, right to speedy trial comes under when Article 21 interpreted in a more wider way. So, we can conclude this landmark case that every citizen has to be vigilant of their right. Means the law will assist those only who are vigilant of their rights and not those who sleep over it. And even after this judgment, the public interest litigation, this judicial tool, this recognized as one of the effective method to deliver justice to the poor or those backward sections of the community who could not afford the expenses to conduct a litigation. And actually the fact was that around 40,000 under trial prisoners were released from jail, or even they had got a chance to have a fast track hearing after passing this judgment.